The Barangay Ginebra San Miguel is a professional basketball team in the Philippine Basketball Association. It is currently the most popular PBA team and has won 8 PBA titles. The team is owned by Ginebra San Miguel, Inc., a subsidiary of the San Miguel Corporation. The team is one of 3 PBA ball clubs currently owned by the SMC group of companies, along with the Star Hotshots and the San Miguel Beermen. La Tondina Incorporada joined the PBA in 1979 as an expansion team. After some rough times during the first few seasons, the fortunes changed when Robert Jaworski and Francis Arnaiz arrived in 1984, following the disbandment of the famed Toyota Super Corollas. As player-coach, Jaworski steered the franchise to 4 PBA titles between 1986 and 1997. In the post-Jaworski era, coaches Jong Ishiko and Siot Tangwing Sen led the franchise to 4 more titles. Beginnings 1979 to 1983, Gilbey's Gin, St. George Whiskey's Gilbey's Gin Gimlets. Joining the league in 1979, the team was known as Gilbey's Gin of then-owner and team founder Carlos Palanca Jr.'s La Tondina, Inc. franchise. Its first head coach was Pilo Pumaran and was bannered by MICAA standout Willie Tanduyan and imports Larry McNeil and Dean Tolson. Gilbey's managed to place 4th in the 1979 Invitational Tournament. In the 1980 season, Nemu Villegas took over as head coach. Willie Generlau won the Rookie of the Year honors during the 1980 season as Gilbey's placed 4th in the All-Filipino tournament. The franchise played under the name St. George Whiskies during the 1981 reinforced Filipino Conference. In 1982, playing again as Gilbey's Gin under new coach Arturo Valenzuela, the Gins made its first finals appearance during the Open Conference, but they were swept by Toyota of coach Ed Ocampo, Robert Jaworski, and Ramon Fernandez. Gilbey's made another finals appearance in the 1983 All-Filipino but were also swept by the Crispa Redmanizes in the first of 3 titles won by the Redmanizes. The Jaworski era, Gilbey's Gin Tonics. Before the 1984 season, Toyota announced its departure from the league after winning 9 titles in 9 seasons. As part of an agreement with new team Beerhausen, the rights of the Toyota players were acquired by Beerhausen. The team, owned by Lucio Tan, was entering its first year in the PBA. Robert Jaworski, Francis Arnaiz, Unni Twadles and Chito Loizaga refused to join Beerhausen. The internal feud between Jaworski and Fernandez, which had been simmering for several years, became public. With this development, Gilbey's accepted Jaworski and Arnaiz, Unni Twadles and Chito Loizaga joined Great Taste, while the rest of the Toyota players, led by Fernandez, joined Beerhausen. Jaworski and Arnaiz turned the moribund franchise into a competitive team almost overnight when in the first conference of the 1984 season, the All-Filipino Conference, they led the team to the finals against Crispa Ginebra San Miguel. By 1985, Gilbey's was renamed as Ginebra San Miguel. However, the team failed to enter the finals in each of the 3 conferences, showing only a strong finish in the reinforced conference. The birth of Never Say Die. On October 22, 1985, in a game against Northern Cement, Jaworski was hit by an elbow from Jeff Moore late in the second quarter. Jaworski had to be brought to nearby Medical City's emergency room to get stitches on his lips. During the third quarter, NCC was leading when Jaworski returned to the bench. The biggest manifestation was when Jaworski came back from the nearby Medical City with 7 stitches in his lip to lead the Gins to a come-from-behind victory against NCC. Jaworski incurred this from a wayward elbow inflicted conducted by Jeff Moore in the second quarter, but with them behind by 15 points going into the final 7 minutes of the game, Jaworski re-entered the court and sparked a frenzy that to date has yet been matched. The NCC team simply froze upon the sight of the Big J and didn't know what hit them, eventually losing to the Gins. Michael Hackett also saw his name in the PBA record books by scoring 103 points in Ginebra's 197-168 victory against Great Taste on November 21, 1985. This was later broken by Swift's Tony Harris in a 1992 game in Iloilo City against Ginebra. Former CRISPR import Billy Ray Bates was brought in for the 1986 Open Conference. Each PBA team was allowed to get 2 imports from the said conference. Bates' other partner was Michael Hackett, who was the 1985 Open Conference best import. It is believed that the pair was the greatest import tandem in PBA history. The two lead Ginebra in the finals of the tournament against Manila Beer, with a bet guide Benin imports Michael Young and Harold Keeling. Bates and Hackett parred Ginebra to a 4-1 win in the series to win the 1986 PBA Open Conference and give the team its first ever championship. Unfortunately, Francis Arnaiz suddenly left for the United States before Ginebra won its first championship, ending his 11-year career in tandem with Jaworski. Anayo Rum 65 in 1988, Ginebra changed the name to Anayo Rum 65ers. The 65ers won the 1988 PBA All-Filipino Conference, the first All-Filipino championship and second overall title. They entered the finals via a classic playoff game versus San Miguel. Joey Loizaga made a perfect pass to Romulo Mamral and made the game-winning basket. Anayo took on new team Purefoods in the finals. Anayo won the series 3-1 over the young Purefoods team led by Jerry Codanera, Alvin Patrimonio, and Jojo Lastimosa. During this time, Ramon Fernandez was benched by the Purefoods for alleged game fixing. In the final game, 365ers scored 25 points or more. Joey Loizaga, Don Nampaleo, and Sonny Jaworski, as the 65ers did not allow the then rookie-laden Purefoods team to gain confidence. The game was close all throughout until the final 3 minutes of the game when Loizaga and Jaworski uncorked three-pointers that iced the win. This team is known as the best all-Filipino underdog team ever to grab the all-Filipino title. Anayo Rum also clinched the 1988 PBA IBA World Challenge Cup with Bobby Parks as their import by beating international teams and beating Alaska Air Force in the lone final game. In the season-ending reinforced conference wherein teams were allowed 2 imports each, Anayo again hired the great Billy Ray Bates and paired him with Kevin Gamble. After only 4 games, the PBA's greatest import ever was sent home for good. Anayo would finish the season with the exciting and high-scoring duo of Joe Wood and Tommy Davis as imports. On the next season, Anayo lost in 5 games to the Grand Slam-winning San Miguel Beermen in the reinforced conference. In that conference, Anayo paraded another super import in Carlos Briggs, who easily won the Best Import award. In 1990, Anayo entered the finals of the first conference against Benji Paris and the Shell Rimila X team. In Game 6, with Shell already leading the series 3-2, Anayo protested a foul on Ray Quinco with a few minutes left in the second quarter. This led to the infamous walkout of Anayo. The team also complained about the unfavorable officiating as the team had more fouls than Shell. In the end, the game was forfeited and awarded the title to Shell. The result of this event gave the team a fine of more than 500,000 Philippine pesos, which was then the highest fine in league history. Ginebra San Miguel. In 1991, Anaya reverted to playing as Ginebra San Miguel. They met Shell again in the finals of the 1991 PBA First Conference. Shell goes up 3-1 in the series, needing only a win to clinch the series. But Ginebra managed a furious comeback to force a seventh game. In the final seconds of Game 7, an off-balanced shot by Rudy Distrito with the second remaining sealed Ginebra's third PBA title and completed the greatest comeback in PBA history. Ginebra placed third in the 1992 Reinforced Conference. But at that time, the team was starting to fade. In the 1993 preseason, the Gins were given the second overall pick in the 1993 PBA draft behind new team star Lucia Realty, which replaced Presto. They drafted former FEW power forward Victor Pablo but immediately traded him to the 7-Up Bottlers for veterans Manny Victorino and Alaho Alilor. The said trade was lambasted by most fans, and it cost Ginebra the performance for the year where they compiled a 9-26 record in all three conferences. This horrible performance gave them the top pick in the next draft. In 1994, in an effort to change their fortunes, the team was renamed as Tondina 65 Rum Masters. The team selected Nolly Loxon with the first pick, and was hoped to make team better. But Tondina's struggles continued, winning just 12 of the 32 games that year. In 1995, the team reverted again to Ginebra. They selected 7 feet 0 inches center EJFEIHL and also drafted Jooshi's son, Robert Jr. The drafting of FEIHL surprised people. They were expecting Ginebra to either draft Kenneth Duremdes or Jeffrey Carriazo at the time. Jaworski later quoted, "It's not every day that you see a 7-footer applying for the draft." Unfortunately, misfortune still struck the team as Ginebra won only 5 of the 30 games played that year, capped by 0-10 win-loss record during the Governor's Cup. The worst season triggered rumors that Ginebra was disbanding, but the rumor was quickly killed off after the team posted a printed advertisement in major newspapers that they were staying in the PBA. Ginebra got the top pick again in the next draft. This was the last time a PBA team with the worst record was awarded the top pick in the draft. In the succeeding drafts, the worst PBA team had to compete with the second worst team via lottery to determine the top pick in the draft. In 1996, Ginebra used the top overall pick to draft controversial center Marlo Aquino from Adamson University. Aquino was a big star in the PBL for Nick Connon's Stag Pale Pilsen but was involved in a controversial scandal in terms of his academic status at Adamson, although this was later neglected when he jumped pro. Aquino showed the promise Ginebra fans expected during the All-Filipino Conference. It also showed the discovery of former University of Santo Tomas guard Baldavid as one of the team's popular players along with Vince Hizon, JV Gayoso, and Pido Jarancio. In the Commissioner's Cup, the team paraded NBA veteran Henry James as Ginebra wound up in an elimination game against Formula Shell. Kenny Redfield's buzzer-beating 3 enabled Shell to enter the finals. Ginebra finally entered the finals of the Governor's Cup but lost to the Grand Slam-winning Alaska Milkmen in 5 games. Aquino's impact on Ginebra gave the team a 30-game improvement from a year ago and was named as the Rookie of the Year. Gordon's Gin Boars. In 1997, Ginebra was renamed, this time as the Gordon's Gin Boars. Gordon's was now a contender for the league's 23rd season. One of the most memorable shots in team history was Baldavid's final second heave from half-court to defeat the San Miguel Beermen by 2 points. Gordon's entered the finals of the All-Filipino against the Purefoods Corned Beef Cowboys. Purefords managed to take a 3-1 series lead. In Game 5, they were about to score a winning basket after a Gordon's turnover, but Vince Hizon blocked Indo Pumaran's layup as the Boars lived another day. Unfortunately, in Game 6, the strong performance of Alvin Patrimonio and company denied Gordons a title, losing the series 4-2. The loss marked Joe Oshie's last game with the Letondona franchise and did not enter himself in a game since. In the Commissioner's Cup, NBA veteran Chris King became a replacement in time for the semis of the tournament. Gordons met sister team San Miguel in an elimination semi-final match. It was a true classic game that went to double overtime. The Boars were down by 5 in the dying seconds of the first overtime, then came back to tie the game and win it in the next overtime period. The Boars won 106-100 in what is considered the longest playoff game to clinch the second finals berth. In the finals, Gordons eventually defeated Alaska in 6 games for the 1997 PBA Commissioner's Cup trophy, the first title in 6 years. This was the 4th overall title and the last under Joe Orsky. Maui Aquino was named Finals MVP. During this time, Joe Orsky thanked the Gordons Gin fans for the support. Expectations were high for the Governor's Cup, but they were eliminated by Star Lucia in the quarterfinals. Joe Orsky resigns. In 1998, Joe Orsky ran for a senatorial seat for the elections, which he won by a lot of votes. This led to a conflict between Joe Orsky's role in the Senate and his role as coach of Ginebra. Assistant Rhino Salazar was named as interim coach at one point. Ginebra still struggled despite the addition of Bong Alvarez to the team. That year, Danding Coanco regained ownership of San Miguel Corporation. One of the moves the team made was adding Alan Kaidik from San Miguel Beer. This caused a rift between Joe Orsky and the new management because he was not informed of the move. In a press conference held at the Senate, Joe Orsky resigned as player-coach of Ginebra. Joe Orsky was considered the oldest basketball player on any roster at 52 years of age during this time before he retired.